A stress-free win in St. Louis. Don't you love to see it? You got Clay Holmes gets into the sixth, 5 2/3, strong innings, 2 runs. The bullpen comes in and locks it down, and that's how you get the job done, guys. Tobias Myers is going to be a huge asset to this Mets team, and you're seeing it early. Opening day, gave the home run, but pitched 3 innings, saved the bullpen. Yesterday, doing a good job out of the pen in relief for Clay Holmes and airbender. Devin Williams with his first save. Devin Williams, that airbender was filthy. I mean, that thing, the catcher, you saw Alvarez had trouble catching it. That's how filthy that pitch was. So if he can be on with that off speed, I mean, it's almost unhittable. That I'm excited to see that from Devin Williams. And a 4-2 Mets win. And we complain about Jared Young in the starting lineup. What does Jared Young do? He hits a big RBI double and gets the job done. I mean, Jared Young should not be getting starts often, but if he's starting once a week, and in that one start, he's getting a big hit from me every week, I'll sign up for that. And I jokingly posted a video before the game. I give daily fun content out there on my socials, at Jake Brown Live. Again, this is Mets Daily. You can hit that thumbs up on this video, and it helps the channel. Make sure you share Mets Daily, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. We're all over this New York Mets season, which I think is going to end with the championship. So make sure you follow us at Mets Daily Show on Twitter. But, I posted a video of Jared Young in the lineup the day after Dickie Lovelady just blew the game, or the Mets trying to make us lose our minds. But Jared Young making us shut up. Bo Bichette making those fans that boo him, those idiots, those morons, shut up with 2 RBIs. Now, listen, the first one was RBI ground out that Lindor probably gets thrown out at home if Weatherholt, gets a grip on that ball. He clearly did not have a full grip on it. And then he had the RBI single and fell over in the process. Now, that's a sign of he might be just swinging too hard. He might be trying to do something too much. Now he's got 3 RBIs now in 4 games. So, fans are calling him Jason Bay and saying the worst Met ever. He's got 4 RBI, 3 RBIs in 4 games. So it's not like he has been terrible. He's obviously hasn't hit a lot, but 3 RBIs, 4 games now. I'll sign up for that. And I'm sure his bat's going to get going here, but that was a good sign. And just an all-around good win for the Mets. That's how you get the job done in St. Louis versus the Cardinals team that is not very good. The Cardinals pitching is not great. That second half of the lineup is not good. They got talent up top, and obviously Burleson is a stud, but otherwise, not a ton of talent on this Cardinals team. I really think the Mets should sweep this series. Jared Young getting playing time at first base because we found out from Saturday that Jorge Polanco has a sore Achilles, and the Mets are being careful here with Jorge Polanco. Now, that's anytime you hear the word Achilles, you get scared. So I'm not in love with this. I would honestly rest him a day. With no off days, you're being careful about Brooks Raley and Devin Williams going back-to-back. How about you be careful with a guy who actually has an actual injury? That, to me, seems a little bit more concerning than not using a pitcher back-to-back games, which every other team in baseball does. So I would maybe sit Jorge Polanco a game here. My guess is they sit him tomorrow, day game after night game. Polanco gets the day. But you have to wonder here. With Polanco in the DH spot, you thought last night, and I'm glad Jared Young got the hit, but you thought last night was maybe the time Mark Vientos or Tyrone Taylor gets a start. I think what's telling is them both still not getting a start. Now it's 4 games. Maybe tonight's the night. Or if not, tomorrow, again, day game after night game, they do it. But a little interesting, it tells you the role that, Mark Vientos, Carlos Mendoza said, you're part of this team. You're going to be a big part of the team. After a bad spring, I don't think he's going to be a big part of the team. I think Mark Vientos is going to play tomorrow because it's a lefty on the mound. So you're going to see Vientos in the lineup. But I think it's a sign that the playing time really for those two are going to be very, very limited. To the point, last night, they put Luis Robert in as a pinch runner. You thought it was going to be an off day for Luis Robert. In a random spot, they put him in for Jared Young to pinch run. That I would have thought would be the time for Tyrone Taylor. Pinch run, put him in defense last 3 innings, give Robert the day off his feet. They put Robert in. So, that's a telling sign that, Tyrone Taylor is barely going to get time to squeeze in, which is, I think Mike Talkman would have, but Tyrone Taylor clearly is very much going to play at the most once a week. And they moved Benj over to center. They wanted to get him a start in center. They're trying to play Benj as much as they can. Benj is probably going to play 6 games a week, maybe even all 7. So I think what this is all telling you is that Mark Vientos and Jared Young, and definitely Jared Young, but Mark Vientos and Tyrone Taylor don't have a huge role on this Mets team. Now, we knew they weren't going to have a huge role, but I thought Taylor would play once a week. There might be a chance he doesn't play at all during the week. He might literally just be a backup if anyone gets hurt or a late-game defensive replacement or whatever it may be, but Tyrone Taylor's in a tough spot. And the issue with Mark Vientos once a week, which, listen, he had a bad spring. I don't disagree with what the Mets are doing here, but he struggled when he lost playing time last year. When he played in less time and saw less at-bats, he struggled. Now, he had the one pinch hit, and he hit a single. He's 1 for 1. He's in 1,000. So we'll see him tomorrow against that lefty is what I would guess. I mean, that seems like a lock. And I think it tells you they have no comfortability with him defensively. Like, if Jorge Polanco is good to go defensively, he will be first base and Vientos DH. But I don't think the Mets are comfortable any game putting Vientos at first. Tomorrow will be a telling sign. If Polanco's still Achilles is sore, does he play first? We'll see. Tonight, Kodai Senga, though, makes his season debut. And we talked about Kodai Senga really being an X factor for this Mets team. You know, they need that rookie Senga back. They need that ghost fork to fool guys. He had a really good end of the spring there. His velocity was good. His stuff was good. Can he stay on the mound, stay healthy, and be good for the Mets? Because if he's your number 5 and he's pitching like rookie or Senga, the Mets are going to have one of the better rotations in baseball, if that's the case. We don't know what we're going to get at him. I think tonight should be intriguing. I think the Cardinals is a nice soft spot for him in St. Louis. No pressure. Not a very good team. You know, this is a good spot for Senga to come out there and shove. And I'd love to see 6 innings. You know, again, so close. Holmes, 5 2/3. Peterson, 5 2/3. Peralta, 5. McLean, 5. I think it's good that they're getting through 5, but, like, would love to see Senga here get me 6 innings tonight. Save the bullpen a little bit. But he is really, the Mets' success could really ride with what Kodai Senga does. All right, let's get to your comments from yesterday's show, everybody. From Greg, Jake, your comments are spot on about Lovelady, and your criticism about Mendoza was right on point. Totally agree with all your comments. Mendoza's slacking, needs to get it together. Thanks, Jake. Let's go, Mets. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, I mean, Lovelady, again, he's one outing away from being off this team. I think that's the reality of the situation with Dickie Lovelady. Michael Goodwin says, I think this series against the Cardinals will tell a lot. I agree, Michael. What Met team do we have? They're off to a good start. Now take the series tonight. Ivan says it's like Mendoza managed to take 2 out of 3. Tobias Meyer should have pitched. 1 win in March counts the same as a win in September. Rather be in first place in September as opposed to fighting for a wild card. DFA Lovelady, give Kimbrel a shot. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to give Kimbrel a shot, guys, yet. Again, if Lovelady gets, pounded next time he goes out there, I think it's pretty much a lock he gets DFA'd. But we'll see how quick they'll go to Kimbrel. And if they truly do care about having that third lefty, I really don't think you need it. You have Manaea, you have Raley. I don't think you need to have another lefty, but we'll see. The fans booing Bichette are the same fools that booed Soto last season when he got off to a slow start. It's only 3 games. Let's go, Mets. Yeah, I mean, you're booing the guy. Those fans maybe don't want him to stay, but you'd like him to stay in New York, and that's not a good way to keep him around. Because Bo Bichette's going to turn around. He already did last night, so just watch. He said he wanted to be here a little bit. He was trying too hard. Get him 7 games on the road, come back home, and get this thing back cooking for Bo Bichette. MD said Mendoza conceded yesterday's loss pure and simple. If they're going to Lovelady at critical junctures twice in a 2-day span of 3-day season, this pen is not ready to compete. I don't blame Lovelady. He was a sacrificial lamb set up to fail there. I like certain aspects of Mendoza as a manager, but he's consistently shown poor grasp of how to use the bullpen since day one of his tenure. And the team doesn't have enough depth to overcome that weakness. I know the situation will improve when Minter returns, but you can't wait that long. That's the key. They don't have the depth at the moment to overcome the weakness, so he has to manage differently. That's the point here, is like, if all this were the case, Sean Manaea needs to pitch another inning. Sean Manaea can't be pulled after an inning at third. I rather would have lost in the 9th inning with Sean Manaea. Now, Weaver went the 9th inning. Weaver could have went the 10th inning, and I feel more comfortable with the automatic runner at second if Weaver's in the game than Dickie Lovelady. So I think you're in a spot where you're just going to have to manage differently. And if guys aren't available, you got to trust for example, if guys aren't available, go longer with your guys that are available, because those guys probably won't pitch the next day. if someone's unavailable, go 2 innings with a guy instead of 1, especially if it's low pitch count, and then have them sit the next day. That's your solve. It just doesn't seem like he manages a little bit more sometimes for tomorrow than he does today. And you can't just, I know they're major leaguers, you still get outs, but you still got to manage for today, even if it's early, than just always worrying tomorrow, somewhere tomorrow, only a day away. Sorry. X6 Nike Elite game. It's not insane to feel how we do about that loss. At the end of the day, it was games like this that made us miss the playoffs. Inexcusable send from third on Lindor, and inexcusable to put Lovelady out there. Yeah, I think we just have PTSD from last year, guys. I think that's what this is early. I think we'll get better with it, but we still have it as Met fans. Tuck Loomis says Bichette's 1 for 18 with 8 strikeouts, including at bat where he swung a pitch that hit him. I would say that is about the worst start possible. Yes, 100% it's a bad start, Tuck. But he drove in the first round of the season. He's played solid defense, and it's 3 effing games. DFA Lovelady and bring up Kimbrel, says Frankie. I think in a week that may be the case, but not today. It's not going to happen yet. Francis Mendoza's on a short lease and is getting shorter. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get the full year. Again, if the Mets are 10 games under in June, they'll fire him. S. Tomato said, thank you for getting on Mendoza for this egregious error. Good word. He punted games several times last year in the same situation. The Mets ended up 1 game out of the playoffs. And this strategy. Yeah, we got to hope this doesn't last long. Again, it's March. We'll live with it, but I hope, May, June come around that's not how he's managing. Jay says, after last season, every game counts. Yep. Ron says, you were so right about all this. Brosman should have pitched 2 innings. Manaea at least 2, which gets you through the 9th. You then have Weaver for the 10th. Mendoza simply does not know how to handle a pitching staff. How could Devin Williams not be available for that inning? The key is, 2 innings. Like Brosman, 2. Manaea at least 2. Weaver, 10. 100%. Because you have talked about having guys in this bullpen that can pitch multiple innings for you. Well, Brosman can pitch multiple innings. Manaea can pitch multiple innings. You have those guys. So, let them out there. Shakamoto says, we all know Bo is working his ass off to get better. Everyone in the opening series booing him this season are adults. Probably never played, but that's another story. Yeah, I don't want to go to the never played story because most of us have never played. I don't agree with that, but they're adults. I mean, it's 3 games, guys. 3 games. And by the way, he had a hit an RBI. It's not like he went 0 for 14 with 0 RBIs. He had an RBI. He drove in the first run of the Mets season. And I think that's a telling sign of what could come with Bo Bichette. He drove in the first Mets run of the year. I bet you he drives in the last. World Series Game 7, Bo Bichette. Home run. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Follow me at Jake Brown Live. Mets Cardinals tonight. Let's go Mets. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on Mets Daily.